Hi. So I am here today to begin my very first uh, vlog for my journey through the next year and a day. Um, I am going to be dedicating myself to Morgan Le Fay's coven, coming up in just a little over a month on Mabon this year. The path that I'm going to take is Druidry. Um, I have always found Celtic Druidism to be fascinating and beautiful, and it kind of always called me. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm beginning with this book here, The Path to Druidry. And I am almost through with the first chapter. When I read something like this, I don't just read it. I study it, and when it tells me to pause and all of that, I do. Again, this is my first vlog, so it's my first step toward being a druid witch, and I plan on doing this every day. If I miss a day, I'll catch you all up on it. But so we're gonna say this is my first day, and while I was reading, I was noticing kind of a pattern in what she was saying in her first chapter, and I talked with my high priestess, and I told her what I had gleaned from this first chapter. So I'm going to talk about that because she said she liked it. She liked the idea. She liked my thought process behind it. So so here it is. There are a couple of things that the author of this book was kind of pointing out, and I took it probably to a whole different level than what she really meant it. But the most important thing that I gleaned from what she was saying was that you need to acknowledge your personhood and who you are, and accept who you are where you're at. So the first step to Druidry is acknowledging who you are, having a sense of self, realizing that you are who you are. And as I was reading this through the chapter, I discovered there's a pyramid of steps to take. And I don't think that it's a one-time step. I think it's something that as I go through this journey, I'm probably going to have to do on a regular basis, even daily, if not weekly, if not monthly. But these steps all kind of they're ones that you have to take sort of individually and compound each one. So I created an upside down pyramid, and here's what it looks like. So at the bottom you see that I've got a sigil of my initials, TSG, and that is to symbolize me. That's who I am. Right above that you see that there are two hearts. Now the two hearts they're also who I am, but now we're talking about Now we're talking about the self, we're talking about the conscious, we're talking about um, everything having to do with who I am as a person. Now that I've acknowledged that I'm my person, now I've got these two hearts, and the one on the left, you see, it has arrows going to the inside. So there's an internal journey that I must take. So everything within me now has to focus on the internal and how I'm growing inside. What is going on in my head? What is going on in my soul? What is going on in my spirit? What is happening with me during this journey? It's how am I growing on the inside? The one on the right, you see, it has 4 arrows leading out from it, and that is to represent that now that I'm working on acknowledging who I am, and I'm working on the internal journey. Now I must do an external connection with the world. I must it needs to flow into me and then flow out of me. As the Druid thinks, they think of the outward world, particularly nature, obviously, by its very definition, that Druid is about nature. So my magic is going to be based on nature. It's going to be based on my connection to the outside world. And you see how right now the 3 of them, while they are steps, they're still so interconnected. I'm still acknowledging who I am. I'm still working on that internal journey, but I am also now realizing that I must go and connect to the outside world. And the next step of the pyramid, you see on the left-hand side, are hills and mountains, and that is to represent land. The middle one is it's birds with clouds, meaning the sky, and the next one are waves, and that represents the sea. So the external connection is to the world. It's finding peace with the land and finding a symbiosis with what's going on in the land. It's looking up at the sky and enjoying what is there, reflecting on even how small we are, and yet also how wonderful the universe is. Enjoying looking at the stars at night, basking in the glow of the sun, walking and enjoying the cloudy and the rainy days. And then the sea, that's something that I am going to have to kind of come to grips with, is my fear of water, and I'm going to have to make peace with water. I think that's a good thing. I'm not at all thinking that it's a silly thing. As a druid, I think that I should come to terms and make peace with all 3 parts of the world. The top tier, these little pictures up on top, sorry they look so sophomoric and childlike, but I needed to do something that in my head represents all of these things. And again, before I go to these, understand that the 3rd level again, is a step, but it's still all interconnected with the bottom two tiers. I'm still acknowledging who I am. I'm still on that internal journey, and I'm still connecting externally to land, air, and sea. And then the top tier are the elements. Finding a connection to each of the elements, to earth, represented by the roots and the branches and the ground on that first one to the left. Earth, really finding that connection with the dirt and the trees and not just land like in the tier below, but really individually finding flora and fauna as a part of the entire universe, and that includes me. That includes, and connecting with that includes all of this stuff from down below in the pyramid. The next one is the wind, allowing air to flow around me and to feel the magics in the air, and realizing that the air that touches me touches others, and touches the flora and the fauna, and breezes through everything. And so really getting in touch with the element of air. Fire fire is an easy element for me. I've always been. I'm the cardinal fire sign. I'm an Aries, so fire has always been the thing for me, right? So connecting to fire is going to be very easy in my druidic path. So that's not going to be the huge issue at all. And then of course water. And again, my making peace with water as a druid is going to be very interesting. And making peace with water, the element, is more than likely going to be very much easier than making peace with the sea, so to speak. The sea has always been kind of one of those things that I can go to the beach and I can really enjoy the sound of the waves and all of that. I rarely go into it, and if I go to the beach, even now, and I'm going into the river, I'm very trepidatious about going too far in. Again, there's that fear factor. So during this year, y'all keep me, I guess, keep me dedicated, hold me up, hold me accountable to how I'm doing with my fear of water, and changing that fear to a respect and making peace with water. Because I think, I know that that's going to be very important in my path to becoming a druid witch. So as you can see, the pyramid that I drew is purposely upside down. Originally, when I was creating it and talking about it, I was originally thinking that it should be right side up, where my name, myself should be on top. And then I realized that no, it isn't. The Path to Druidry is more of an ascension from what I've been able to glean just from this first chapter. It's an ascension. Not only is it an ascension, but every step I take must also become present. So after acknowledging who I am, I need to take that next step up to working on the internal journey and the external connection, right? But I should not forget that I've acknowledged myself, so I'm still up here in that second level. So now, basically, rather than 2 being in that second level up from me, there should be 3. There should be myself, the TSG, and the heart with the arrows going in, as well as the heart with the arrows outreaching. And then when I step up to the next level, and I'm connecting with the land and the sky and the sea, then there should be 6. There should be the TSG, there should be the 2 hearts, and there should be the land, the sky, and the sea. And all 10 should be at that top level. So I should be taking these steps and ascending to each level, but I should never let go of the level below. I'm hoping I'm making sense. I'm hoping that you're grasping where I want my path to go as a druid. So that, I think, is going to be the end of my first video on my path to Druidry. I hope you join me on this path on a daily basis. I'm going to put this on my YouTube channel. If you wish to subscribe and keep up with my path, I'm probably gonna just add it to playlists, and I'll just have a playlist of my path. The videos probably in the future won't be they won't be longer than this one is. They'll probably be about the same length, just because I'm going to want to say what I want to say and move on. It's just basically a journal, that's all this is. So that's my first video, and Morgan, my high priestess, has given me some homework to do, so I'm going to do that before D&D. This is Sunday, so it's D&D night, and so I'm going to go play a little bit later, but I think what I'm going to do now is edit this video just a little bit, put it on my YouTube, and post a link to Facebook so that y'all can watch it if you wish, and so I guess that's it. I guess that's all I've got. I'm very excited about walking this path. I'm very excited about what's going to happen in the next year. I have my plan for my altar at home here. I have my plan for ensuring that I have some nature around me. If you all are interested, here's kind of my plan. My altar is going on the west wall of my room, to face the setting sun. And the reason being is, I know that some of you know this, but I'm very attuned to the cycle of the moon, and so the moon is probably going to be very important. Nighttime is going to be probably my time for most of my practice, because I am so connected with the moon. So putting it on the west wall makes sense to me, because it speaks to the setting sun and the coming of night. So while my focus will more than likely be on the green man, pretty sure that the goddess will be represented by the moon goddesses, one of the moon goddesses, if not all. I also want to get some plants. I want to get an orchid. I want to find a bonsai. And if any of you happen to know if there might be oak bonsais somewhere, I would love to have an oak bonsai that will also be on my west wall facing me. And then my roommate Teresa has some spider plant starters, and while I may not like spiders, I adore spider plants, so we're going to put that up on this west wall as well. So that is kind of my plan. I'm going to set up my altar on Mabon before going to the ritual to be dedicated into the coven, and so I will keep you posted on all of that. And so again, this is probably the end of my video for today. And again, most of the videos from now until the end of this year and a day will actually be about this long. So I hope you all are blessed to be, and that you have a great day, and I will talk with you tomorrow.